Yeah, I hate to tell you, but I won't fit in your box. I know you wanna know, but you cannot pick my locks. See, you a part of me, like New York is to the Bronx. And everything is everything, we do not need to box. Cause I could stick and move, I am focused like a soldier. And you've been in my way, heavy like a boulder. And everybody's scared of death and getting older. When you release your fear, come cry on my shoulder. Cause finally the earth's come around. Use a new part of your brain, make a new sound. All we want is love, it's making our heart pound. The new children are here, they are coming out the ground. Stop medicating them, their power will abound. Now please just gather round, the pitch is at the mound. Catch my words, don't clown, you know you like my sound. Now give your girl a pound or a hug would mean you're down. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be your soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be your soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. Down is the four rivers, the waters they will heal. I will lift my hands up to the sky and make it real. I'll make it real. My brothers and my sisters, you will see how I feel. I will give you $1 to listen. Baby, let's make a deal. No, you can't buy me, don't even try me. In fact, unleash your lasso and please untie me. I'm done with the cowboys, they do not excite me. Don't need your opinion, please don't indict me. I won't do your homework, do not assign me. The universe will teach you what science is finding. Open up your chakra, your aura could be blinding. Grab some rose quartz and start reminding. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be your soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. With the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be a soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. I am a writing machine and this is my weapon. Fighting with my mouth, peace I will be repping. We're all contradictions, stop your suggesting. The righteous do not judge cause they know it's projecting. And just cause I say it's the age of feminine doesn't mean that I am not down for a man. We all need some yang, get that dick up out your head. Cause there are mad women who are too masculine. And yes, I know that I do not sound Caucasian, but sorry, this is how it comes out like the days in. My soul is here for some consciousness raising. Stop all your labeling, I'm Kelly, amazing. And I'm not concerned with which God you're praising or what herb you're blazing. Your light shines, it's phasing, and now the birds fade in. And now the birds fade in. La-dee-da-da-da-da-day. You can light your own way. La-dee-da-da-da-da-day. Today could be your day. La-dee-da-da-da-da-day. I will be lighting my own way. La-dee-da-da-da-da-day. Today is my day. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be a soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be a soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be a soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be a soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry. And with the power of Isis, I will speak to your third eye. I'll be a soldier in crisis, I will lick your cheek when you cry.
Hey, Deep Divers. Welcome back to another Deep Dive.
Yeah.
It's great to have you all here.
It is.
And for those of you who joined us for episode 8, we got pretty amped up about bioelectricity
That's right.
and how our bodies are these intricate electrical systems.
It seems like a pretty natural leap to think about how those electrical systems could be harnessed for healing.
Exactly. And that's where this whole idea of med beds comes in.
Right.
We have a whole bunch of sources here, articles, company websites, even a skeptical Wikipedia entry.
Wow.
And we're going to sort through all the hype to figure out what is real and what's still in the realm of science fiction.
That's the goal.
So first things first, the term medbed gets thrown around a lot.
It does.
Did you know there are companies out there like Arjo that are making real practical medical beds that are used in hospitals right now?
Yeah, and when you go to their website, it's clear that their focus is on improving the everyday experience of patient care.
Yeah.
So things like making sure patients can be moved safely, maintaining hygiene, and preventing bed sores. It might not sound as flashy as some of the med bed claims out there, but these are essential aspects of recovery that can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. I was looking at their website, and they have this whole Skin IQ line of products dedicated to preventing pressure injuries.
Wow.
It makes you realize that something as simple as laying in bed for a long time can actually be a big problem.
Absolutely. And they're using some really cool technology to address that.
Yeah.
Arto actually distributes a scanner that uses bioelectrical impedance analysis to actually predict where bed sores might form before they even become visible.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's like they're tapping into the body's electrical signals to provide preventative care.
That's wild. I also noticed that Arjo makes a point of highlighting mobility solutions for veterans and people with bariatric needs.
Oh, that's great.
It seems like they're really thinking about how to make their technology work for all kinds of people.
That commitment to diverse patient populations is huge. It speaks to a broader trend in healthcare towards personalized treatment instead of a one-size-fits-all approach. It's about recognizing that everyone's needs are different.
Absolutely. So we've established that there are real companies making real medical beds that are already making a positive impact.
Totally.
But that's just one side of the story. We also have sources like Gazelle and Prepare for Change talking about these healing spheres with capabilities that sound almost too good to be true.
They're describing things like holographic med beds that can diagnose and repair the body, regenerative med beds that can regrow tissues and even entire limbs.
What?
And then wait for it.
Right.
Reatomization. Med beds that can supposedly regenerate your entire body.
It's hard to even wrap your head around that last one.
I know.
They're claiming these med beds can reverse aging and cure any disease, you name it. They say it can fix it.
Right. But if we take a step back and look at where these claims are coming from, it's important to remember that they're largely circulating in online communities and websites that focus on alternative medicine and conspiracy theories.
Right.
It's not like we're seeing peer-reviewed scientific papers published on these futuristic med beds.
And even Wikipedia, which is usually pretty neutral, labels these claims as pseudoscience.
Which basically means there's no solid scientific evidence to back them up.
Right.
And this isn't just an academic debate.
Yeah.
The FDA actually issued a warning letter to a company called Tesla Biohealing for making unsupported medical claims about their devices.
So on the one hand, you have people sharing these personal stories about these advanced med beds.
Yeah.
And some of them are pretty compelling.
Right.
But on the other hand, we have to ask, is there any real data to support these claims?
Yeah.
Have these technologies been rigorously tested and proven to be safe and effective?
That's the key question.
Right.
And so far, the answer seems to be no.
Which leads to a really interesting question.
Yeah.
If these futuristic med beds are still in the realm of science fiction, what is possible in the world of healing right now?
Well, there's some incredible work being done in the field of regenerative medicine, and it's getting a lot of attention.
I remember reading about that. There's an article here. New test bed launched to advance the regenerative medicine field that talks about a collaborative effort to develop new treatments using things like 3D printing and cell therapies.
They're essentially building a dedicated space, a test bed.
Oh, wow.
Where scientists and engineers can work together to push the boundaries of regenerative medicine.
That's so cool.
And what they're doing there is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
They're using 3D printers to create tissues and organs, developing cell therapies that can regenerate damaged parts of the body.
So cool.
It's like something straight out of the future.
And they're partnering with tech companies like Oracle to bring in things like machine learning and advanced data analysis.
Oh, wow.
It's like they're combining cutting-edge technology with biological innovation.
Exactly. Imagine personalized therapies that are tailored to your unique genetic makeup. Yeah.
Or being able to grow a new organ in a lab to replace a damaged one.
That's incredible. And it all ties back to what we were talking about in episode 8 about bioelectricity.
Right.
Remember how we were discussing the body's electrical systems and how they play a role in everything from our brain function to our heartbeat?
Right. And now we're seeing how those same principles might be applied to stimulate healing and regeneration.
That's awesome.
There's even research being done on using bioactive energy fields to potentially boost cell regeneration and strengthen the immune system.
It seems like the possibilities are endless.
They really are.
So even though those fantastical med beds we talked about earlier might not be a reality just yet,
right,
the future of healing is looking pretty bright.
It really is. And it's all thanks to the dedicated scientists and researchers who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible in medicine.
Now, there's another element of this medbed phenomenon that I want to talk about, the use of holograms in medicine. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of Star Wars, right? It does have that futuristic appeal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the article, Hologram, the Future of Medicine, From Star Wars to Clinical Imaging, explains how holograms are already being used in healthcare settings in some pretty remarkable ways.
Like, how are they actually using holograms to treat people?
Well, one major area is 3D anatomical visualizations.
Sorry.
Surgeons can now use holograms to see incredibly detailed images of a patient's organs, bones, everything. It's like having a virtual blueprint that they can manipulate and study before they even make a single incision.
So instead of relying on 2D scans, they can actually interact with a 3D holographic representation of the patient's body.
Exactly. It's leading to less invasive procedures, faster recovery times, and better outcomes overall.
That's amazing. But it's not just surgery, right?
Right.
The article mentions that holograms are being used in medical education, too.
Absolutely. Imagine medical students being able to attend virtual lectures where a holographic image of a world-renowned expert appears right before their eyes. They can even interact with the hologram, asking questions and getting real-time feedback. It's like a whole new level of immersive learning.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Oh.
And speaking of immersive, the article also talks about how companies like Zebra Imaging are creating holographic display systems that can be used as an alternative to dissecting cadavers.
Yeah, their Zscape tabletop system allows students to virtually explore the human body layer by layer.
Nice.
It's a fantastic tool for education, and it also addresses some of the ethical concerns that are often associated with using cadavers.
So it seems like holograms are already making a real difference in the medical field.
They are, and it's exciting to think about the possibilities as this technology continues to evolve. Who knows what the future holds?
All right, deep divers, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into medbeds.
We have.
We've seen that while some claims about miraculous healing devices are still pretty far out there, there are incredible advancements happening in both conventional and alternative medicine.
Absolutely.
But we're just getting started. Stick with us as we delve deeper into this fascinating topic.
And in the meantime, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Are you excited about the future of healing?
Yeah.
Skeptical about those futuristic med beds?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know.
We love hearing from you.
Don't forget to like and share this episode with your friends. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss part 2 of our MedBeds deep dive.
Yes.
We'll be back soon with even more fascinating insights.
We will. It's mind-boggling how fast medical technology is changing, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder about the ethical side of things. Like we talked about Zebra Imaging's holographic system as an alternative to dissecting cadavers,
Right.
which seems like a positive step.
Yeah.
But what about those other futuristic treatments? The ones that could potentially reverse aging or regrow limbs? That's got to raise some serious questions, right?
Absolutely. Just because we can develop a technology doesn't necessarily mean we should take the idea of reversing aging, for instance.
Yeah.
That opens up a whole Pandora's box of issues about resource allocation, overpopulation, and even the very definition of what it means to be human.
It's almost like we need a whole separate deep dive.
Right.
Just to unpack the ethical dilemmas
Exactly.
that come with these advancements.
Maybe we will. But for now, I think the important thing is that our listeners are aware that these conversations are happening.
Yeah.
Scientists, ethicists, policymakers,
Ah.
they're all wrestling with these complex issues.
Right, because ultimately technology should be a tool that serves humanity, not the other way around.
Exactly. And that requires an informed public discourse,
Yeah.
which is, in a way, what we're trying to do here on the deep dive.
Yeah. Okay, so let's recap for a second. We've talked about the reality of Arjo's medical beds, the hype surrounding those healing spheres, the genuine progress being made in regenerative medicine, and the emergence of holograms in healthcare.
Right.
That's a pretty broad overview, wouldn't you say?
I think so. But before we wrap up, there's one more thread I'd like to pull on.
Okay.
We touched on it briefly earlier when we were talking about e-systems and their research on bioactive energy fields.
Yeah.
Is there any real scientific basis for that concept?
You know, that's something I was wondering about too. It sounds a little out there,
Yeah,
but then again, so did the idea of using electricity to power our homes a couple hundred years ago.
that's a great point. And it's one that has sparked a lot of debate in the scientific community.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we know that all living organisms emit electromagnetic fields. Think about brain waves, for example, which can be measured with an EEG.
Oh, yeah. That rings a bell. It's amazing to think that our bodies are basically walking electrical circuits.
Exactly. So in that sense, it's not a huge leap to say that our bodies are constantly interacting with energy fields, both internally and externally.
Right.
The bigger question is whether these energy fields can actually be harnessed for therapeutic purposes.
Right. Like, can they actually promote healing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a growing body of research into biofield therapies.
Okay.
Things like Reiki Qigong and therapeutic touch.
So what are biofield therapies exactly?
Imagine someone using their hands to direct energy into your body to help you heal.
Okay.
That's the basic idea behind biofield therapies.
Okay.
Some studies have shown promising results suggesting that these therapies can reduce pain, improve mood, and even speed up wound healing.
But aren't those studies often pretty small and not very well controlled?
That's true.
I've heard a lot of scientists are skeptical about whether these therapies really work.
That's a valid point. Many scientists argue that the effects of biofield therapies can be explained by the placebo effect or other psychological factors. So the jury's still out on whether these therapies actually work. It's a bit of a mystery, but that's what makes it so intriguing, right? It's like a scientific puzzle waiting to be solved.
I guess that's part of what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah.
There's so much we still don't know about the human body and its potential for healing.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, those claims about medbeds harnessing life force energy aren't as far-fetched as they seem.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to approach these claims with a healthy dose of skepticism and demand rigorous scientific evidence.
Right. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So while we keep an open mind, we also need to be critical thinkers.
Absolutely. And speaking of exciting advancements, did you know there's a Region Med hub in North Carolina that's becoming a hotbed for regenerative medicine companies?
I did hear something about that. What's going on over there?
It's incredible. The article we read mentions how this hub is attracting startups and established companies alike, all working to develop the next generation of medical treatments. It's like the Silicon Valley of regenerative medicine.
What kinds of treatments are they working on?
Oh, everything from growing new organs in the lab to developing cell therapies that can repair damaged tissues. They're even working on 3D printing biocompatible materials that can be used to create custom implants and prosthetics.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It sounds like the future of medicine is being invented right there in North Carolina.
It certainly seems that way, and it's just one example of how the field of regenerative medicine is exploding with innovation. There are similar hubs popping up all over the world.
So even though those fantastical med bits we talked about earlier might not be a reality just yet, the future of healing is looking pretty bright.
It is. And as always, I encourage our deep divers to stay curious, stay informed, and engage in these conversations because the choices we make today will shape the future of healthcare for generations to come.
And who knows? Maybe someday those sci-fi med beds will become a reality.
Indeed, they have. But for now, let's focus on the real advancements that are already transforming the medical landscape and ask ourselves, what can we do to support and promote ethical innovation in this exciting field?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with.
Yeah.
What about you, deep divers? What are your thoughts on the future of healing? Share your ideas in the comments below.
And as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for our next deep dive into the unknown. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this episode on MedBed, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities.
It is.
But it's also important to remember that technology is just a tool.
Right? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's how we use it that matters.
Totally. And that's where the human element comes in.
Right.
The compassion, the empathy,
Absolutely.
the understanding that each patient is a unique individual.
Couldn't agree more. No matter how advanced our technology gets, that human connection will always be at the heart of true healing.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into med beds,
Okay.
what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the biggest thing to remember is there's a spectrum when it comes to this stuff.
Okay.
You've got real-world medical beds already in use, like the ones from Arjo, that are making a tangible difference in patient care right now.
Right. And then on the other end, you have those more speculative claims about those super advanced healing technologies that haven't been scientifically proven.
Exactly. So it's crucial to be a savvy consumer of information and not just get carried away by the hype.
Right.
Yeah.
Always ask those critical questions.
Yeah.
Demand evidence.
Yeah.
And remember, there's a big difference between anecdotal stories and solid scientific research.
Great points. And for those of us who are holding out hope for those miraculous cures someday.
Yeah. What about those of us who are hoping for the day when we could just hop into a med bed and have all of our ailments fixed?
I understand that hope. And while those futuristic med beds might still be in the realm of science fiction, there's a lot to be optimistic about. The field of regenerative medicine is making leaps and bounds, and who knows what incredible breakthroughs the future holds.
That's true. And it's exciting to imagine what might be possible. But in the meantime, I think it's important to focus on what we can do now to support our health and well-being.
Couldn't agree more. Things like eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, managing stress, and building strong social connections, these are all things that have been proven to make a big difference in our overall health and longevity.
Well said.
Oh,
And who knows, maybe those healthy habits will even help us live long enough to see those sci-fi med beds become a reality.
one can only hope. But regardless, the journey of discovery is always worth taking.
Deep divers, thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of med beds.
Absolutely.
We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking. As always, we want to hear from you. What stood out to you in this deep dive? What are your thoughts on the future of healing? Share your insights in the comments below. We love getting your perspectives.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please do us a favor and like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on our future deep dives into the unknown.
Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and take care of yourselves.